Hi, and welcome to the first episode of my new feature, Emma Chats. Not sure how well this is going to work, but we'll give it a go. So, in these videos, I'm basically going to waffle on about a particular topic I've decided to talk about. Hopefully making at least some sense, but we'll have to see. So, the topic I've decided to talk about today is Game of Thrones, because the new series is coming next month. Which, I'm pretty sure I remembered before thinking it was coming in June, and I was really excited, and then noticed that it's July, so I have to wait another month. But in the meantime, I'm trying to catch up in reading the books, because I read the first 4 or so last year, but, I got halfway through one of them, but I started that one again, because I couldn't know where I got to. So I'm now part way through, A Dance with Dragons, which I think is the latest book, I think, hopefully. Well, we seem to have almost caught up with the plot of the show. And so I knew that the books differed from the show in some ways. Although there were some things that have surprised me, like when reading the book, be like, that wasn't in the show. Because obviously, they're going to cut some things out for a TV show because we can't put everything in. But there's the odd thing I'm thinking, I would have thought this is going to have an impact on the plot, and presumably they're both the book and the books and the show are trying to reach the same conclusion. So that's what I'm just going to have to wait and see. Well, for the start, there's some things, having seen the show, I'm assuming in the book these characters mustn't reach a very good end, because if they're going to reach an ending of consequence, they'd be in the show. So I'm just going to put it out there, spoiler warning for both the TV series and the books. So if you aren't up to date with either of them, then, and you don't want the spoilers, you have been warned. So there was potentially not going to be spoilers for the end of the latest book, because I haven't finished reading it, although there will be my predictions. Yeah, so one thing that particularly surprised me when reading this latest book was, the storyline involving Aegon Targaryen, for whatever, I don't know what number he's not a king yet, and I presume won't be, but the son of Rhaegar, who turned up, which was quite surprised. I'm like, I hadn't heard anything about that online, that his character wasn't dead, because they go on a lot about. Well, obviously Daenerys is quite a major character. There's a whole big thing about Jon Snow secretly being Rhaegar's son, but I didn't know anything about Aegon. So I'm presuming he's not going to meet a nice end. He's wherever I've got to in it, he's just planning on setting off to Westeros to take over. I get the feeling that's not going to happen. Initially in some of the chapters I got slightly confused. Quentin Martell, from Dawn, because getting both of them seemed slightly similar characters. We're both off to go try and find Daenerys originally. And again, he's not in the show, although the Dawn plot is kind of quite different in the show than in the books. But again, I get the feeling he's probably not going to meet a nice end. He almost certainly isn't going to reach his plan of marrying Daenerys. Neither is Aegon. And presumably neither is some of the Silver characters also off to marry her. That probably isn't going to happen. Because in the bit I was reading last night, that was just when Daenerys was deciding she was going to marry the Marine guy. I can't remember what his name is. I'm presuming she probably will, like she does in the show. Because in the show they killed him off. I've heard that in the books they haven't killed him off, but I don't know that yet. But at the moment in the book, Daenerys keeps going about Daario. Which in the show I quite liked the relationship. That's one of the things I've preferred in the show than the books. In the books I find Daenerys, she seems a bit sort of pathetic, like moping, well not moping over Daario, but she's all like, oh I love him, or maybe she's not like I love him, but she's proper like into it, and I'm like, since when? She sounds like a 16-year-old girl, which I guess technically she probably is she about 16? But I thought it just seemed a bit kind of out of character for her, with her normally being sort of this fierce strong character, and now she's suddenly kind of just spending all her time, well, not all the time, but thinking about him. So that's the one thing I wasn't actually too keen of in the books. Another difference between the books and the TV show is some of the characters who are dead, or at least appear to be dead in the books, are still alive in the TV show, and other way round. I know that there are some differences between them, but then some of these whilst I'm reading the book, I'm considering, oh, maybe they're not actually dead in the book, considering the fact they're still alive in the TV show, because it appears that their character may be of sort of consequence in the TV show at least, so maybe they're not dead in the book. Like Davos in it was kind of a previous book because of the timelines sort of at the same time. It seems to have implied that he's been killed, whereas he's still alive in TV show, so I'm thinking, does he escape? It doesn't seem like it's sort of rather implied that he's been killed, so I guess maybe I'll have to wait and see. And then another character in a sort of similar situation, Brienne and Pod, because in the penultimate Brienne chapter I've read most recently, which I think again was in the previous book, it appeared like, oh no, she's about to die, but then she got rescued in the next chapter, but then again that ended with Brienne and Pod both seemingly being hanged by Lady Stoneheart. So I'm like, oh, is someone going to turn up at the last minute to save them, or are they both actually killed off in the books? But I guess either it's going to we're going to get the answer later on in this book, I think, or I'll have to wait and see, or they are both just dead in the books. Because I like Brienne, she's one of my favourite characters in them, I think. Look, that is another difference, which I wonder whether it would have consequences between the show and the books, is the fact that there's Lady Stoneheart in the books, the reanimated corpse of Catelyn Snow. Because, yeah, that I guess they thought maybe that was a bit sort of a complicated storyline to go with in the show, or maybe they thought it was kind of not relevant. I can see why they've cut it out of the show, and I think maybe it's not really going to have too much consequence in the long run. We'll have to see about that. Another change, which I'm wondering whether will turn out to have consequences or not, is in the books the swapping of Gilly's baby. Because in the show there's just the baby, things are simple enough, but in the books there's also the baby of Mance Rayder, and so when Gilly and Sam go off to Oldtown, Jon has her take Mance Rayder's baby instead of her own baby and swap them so that the Red Woman can't burn it. And then I'm wondering whether that's going to lead to have consequences in the book or not, or whether it's just something that happens. But again, that's another thing you have to wait and see. There are also some characters who at this point in the book aren't dead, but at the same point in the story, the TV series were dead. Particularly like Jojen, I've just got to a bit where Bran's got to the Three-Eyed Raven and seen him, or I say refer to him as a book as the Three-Eyed Crow. There's a few differences in Bran's story, but it seems to be basically the same so far between the books and the TV series. But I say Jojen's still alive at this point, but I'm presuming he's probably just going to die off soonish anyway, or maybe at the point when they're all trying to escape, at the point where in the TV show like Hodor and Summer are killed. So again, I think that's it. That's a change that probably isn't going to lead to too much consequences, but it's just another thing I picked up. So that is one interesting thing about reading the books after I've watched the TV series, which quite often happens with things, or when there's films, like with a lot of book to film adaptations, I've read the books after seeing the film, which kind of, I guess it's not the way you were meant to do it, but I've not, and it's sort of a different experience doing that. Often it's better because you're finding out, you have a vague understanding of who the characters are, but you're finding out a lot more about them with the added detail in the book. And it's with this having some changes between the two plots, but being quite similar, it's quite interesting for me to sort of guess what's going to happen to extra characters who aren't in the show, and sort of guess what the consequences will be. But then there's also, I guess, in the Game of Thrones book, there's kind of a lot more sort of emphasis on the foreshadowing, which I think is quite interesting. Like, there's a lot more emphasis on Cersei's prophecy about her children and such, which seems to be coming through. And because if there's the whole point about she's going to be her throne's going to be taken by a queen younger and prettier than her, which she always takes to mean to be Marjorie, but I'm presuming is referring to Daenerys. So presumably that prophecy is then saying Daenerys takes the throne. Well, I guess knowing Game of Thrones, it could turn out to be someone totally different. And then there's also the the whole prophecy which people think refers to either Jon or Daenerys. And then there's the whole Daenerys' thing, which she just referred to again in one of the latest chapters I read, about she won't have children until the sun rises in the west, and various impossible sounding things. So I wonder whether somehow some of these events referred to in that phrase are going to come to pass in it. But I guess I'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I'll probably start to wrap things up now, because I don't know if it's all that interesting for you watching me talking about a book I've read, and if you watch this you've probably already read it and you're like, why is she talking about this? But yeah, no, it just thought it might be interesting. And so now I'm hopefully going to finish reading this book before the new series comes out, which I'm quite excited about. And then I'm quite interested to know what's kind of going to happen in this series, because we also know Daenerys is finally getting to Westeros after like 6 series, and we have the 3 kind of main teams in the coming war, sort of Cersei's team, Daenerys' team, and then like Jon's team, and like which ones will join up and who will make alliances with who. So I also had a theory the other day whilst reading the books that came up with. I don't think it's really kind of a accurate theory. It's more just like, oh, that would be cool kind of thing, because it makes sort of more of a point in the books about Jon being a warg, whereas in the TV series it mainly just focuses on Bran, and then sort of acknowledges that Jon has his connection with Ghost, and then I don't think it really mentions the fact the other Starks don't have connections with the direwolves either, though I guess like there's not that many Starks left, and half of them don't kind of have the direwolves anymore. There's only kind of one direwolf left in the show, at least, because it's only Ghost, and then in this show Nymeria doesn't seem to be running around, whereas in the books there's a lot of sort of references to what presumably is Nymeria running around the forests. But anyway, I seem to slightly got off track there, but my point was, I think it'd be quite cool if it turned out that Jon could warg into dragons. That would be cool. I don't know if that's possible or not. Like, it sort of mentions that wargs can warg into birds and stuff, but that's not a good idea. And I feel maybe warg into a dragon would be harder. But I think if anyone could, it would probably be Jon, based on the fact if he's got Targaryen blood, that presumably would give him an advantage. And then he has his Stark blood, which seems to give them warg abilities. So that'd be one thing I'd quite like to see. I'm not really expecting to see in it, but it'd be cool. So yeah, so that's just a few thoughts, etc. on Game of Thrones. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please leave a comment if you have any feedback. Please don't be too mean, but I will accept constructive criticism. Anyhow, bye!